Learn how easy it is to remove unwanted objects using the Remove tool in Photoshop. In this lesson, I'll show you a handful of photos with various kinds of unwanted objects and how the Remove tool easily handles all of these scenarios. This lesson is for Photoshop only. The Remove tool is not currently a tool that is found in Photoshop Elements. So the first thing we need to do is prepare the workspace. We're going to open a photo that contains an unwanted object. I'm going to start with this photo my husband sent me when he was recently in Washington, D.C. If you want to keep the original photo intact, in the menu bar, choose Image, Duplicate to create a copy. In the dialog box, click OK, and then you can close the original file. Next, we're going to remove the unwanted objects. So get the Remove tool. It's nested with the other healing tools. It's this Band-Aid icon with the sparkles next to it. In the tool options, click on the Add to Brushed Area icon and set the size to 300 pixels. Uncheck this pressure sensitivity icon and then uncheck Sample All Layers, but check Remove after each stroke. Then on the document, we're going to click and drag over the object you wish to remove. You don't have to be super picky with how you click and drag over it. Just start clicking and dragging around the item that you don't want there. And this satellite dish is a huge eyesore and a distraction from the Capitol building. So I'm going to see exactly what it can do. And that was pretty darn good. It removed that satellite really easy. If for some reason you do, with the first attempt, you get a little bit of some weird artifacting where they, used AI or something to kind of fill this area, then you can press Control Z in Windows or Command Z on a Mac to undo it and then try it again. It will be different every time. So just keep that in mind. If it doesn't work great the first time, undo it and try it again, and it will probably do a better job the second time around. But now this photo looks so much better now that big satellite dish isn't distracting away from this iconic scene. And isn't it pretty? It's like right at sunset. It's really pretty picture. Here's another example. I've already duplicated the photo and closed the original. In this photo, I have this really large power pole that I want to remove from the picture. So let's see how this tool does. We're gonna just easily brush over this pole. I'm just gonna make sure not to brush over Emmett in any way, and then I'll let go. And wow, that did a great job. I'm really happy with how that turned out. This photo just looks so much better now. And here's another example. This photo contains some minor blurry objects in the background that are just kind of slightly distracting from the main subject. So I'm going to use the Remove tool and see how it does getting rid of those. That did pretty good. Let's do this one. And we'll do that one. We'll do this one here and this one here. And I find that that is way better. And now the subject is crystal clear and there's nothing distracting in the background, and I'm really happy with it. So you've seen 3 examples where the objects that you wanted to remove were pretty much on their own and not touching the subject of the photo. But you might be asking yourself, how does this do with unwanted objects that are directly behind your subject, like in this picture here, these 2 windmills? Well, I have found that in cases like these, the tool still works really well, but it also really helps to make the brush size of this tool smaller so that you can zoom in and really focus in on only the things you want to remove. So I'm going to press Control plus in Windows or Command plus on a Mac a few times, and then I'm going to press the left bracket key to make my brush size a lot smaller. And I'm just going to be really careful where I brush next to his head, and then I'll start brushing out this windmill. And that did a pretty good job. I might have accidentally got his hair just a little bit there, but when I zoom out, you might not be able to tell. So let's try this one and see if I can get close without ruining his hair. And then same here. And that did a pretty good job. So now when I go back out, I'll press Command 0 or Control 0 in Windows, and you can't even tell that those wind turbines were there. I might undo this and like fix that little spot by his head before I were to like finish the picture. But that's one of the things with the remove tool, is that if you have a delicate area, the smaller the brush tool and the closer you can zoom in, the better the results are going to be. Now I could show you example after example of my photos that have been improved by using this awesome tool, but you're starting to get the idea. But this tool isn't limited to photos. You can also use it on other digital items. For example, I recently wanted to use this paper on a scrapbook page, and even though I really love this cool arrow in the middle, on the layout that I was making, this arrow's position on the paper was distracting away from the photos on my page. So I wanted to see if using the remove tool would work. So I'll just brush it here and show you how it does. I'm gonna do most of it, and then I'll come up here and we'll just kind of come over that area a little bit and see how it handles that crease. And that did an amazing job. And it even took from the rest of the paper and added a few more of the dots here, which actually look fine. So this did a really phenomenal job on getting rid of that arrow and making it still look like the actual cardboard paper that she started with for this design. And I'm really happy with the results. Sometimes you have to undo and redo it a couple of times to get the result you want, but if that's the only thing I have to do to make this work, it's so much easier than cloning and stamping, and I'm really happy with this tool. I use it all the time now. So here's a scrapbook page I made using pictures from my husband's trip to DC. The Capitol building photo looks so much better now that that satellite dish isn't there. And my page looks better without it too. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and consider subscribing to our channel. This has been Jennifer Juris with Digital Scrapper. We help you get your stories told.